What's going on, everybody? Ray Gomez here with the Shredship, and today we are going to talk about 6 pieces of safety gear that you can wear if you're a beginner snowboarder or a beginner skier, or even if you're going to transition over to the terrain park and start doing some features and some jumps. I wear these 6 pieces of gear on a regular basis. They have saved my snowboarding career countless times, and I highly recommend people wear these, especially if you're beginners. Also, for the people that are not beginners and they're average, intermediate, or even advanced snowboarders and skiers, once again, I recommend you wear some safety gear. You may be the best person on the mountain that day, but that doesn't say that the person next to you is just as advanced as you. And should there be a collision, I would hate for you to have to end your snowboarding season because of not wearing certain pieces that we'll talk about today. Alright, so the first piece of safety equipment that I want to talk about, and probably the most important out of all of them, is wearing a helmet. Now, I know there's a misconception that helmets can cost an arm and a leg, and some of them actually do when you start getting to some name brand helmets. I personally own a Sandbox helmet and an Oakley helmet that cost a little bit more than the average, but I'll tell you what, you can find a helmet at Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls for anywhere between $25 to $35, and even though they may not be a name brand, they will keep your head safe. Now, I know you also maybe want to wear that cool beanie you just bought and shred up the mountain, or maybe you have that cute pom-pom hat that you just can't leave on the sidelines. Trust me, you may be the best snowboarder or skier on the mountain. That doesn't mean that the person next to you is, and if they collide with you and you happen to fall and hit your head, it's going to end your day really, really fast. So I can't stress the importance of wearing a helmet on a regular basis. It's going to save your head some pain. It's going to most likely save your life if there's a bad collision. Trust me when I say that. The second piece of equipment that I recommend a skier or snowboarder wear when they're just starting is a pair of collision shorts. Now, these shorts are normally padded through the thigh area, on your hips, and your tailbone or rear end as well. These shorts have saved my rear end from a great deal of pain ever since I started wearing them. 2 instances specifically when I fell off of a rail and landed directly on my butt. The injury could have been a whole lot worse. Not to mention when I was going off of a jump and I lost my heel edge and came out, I landed directly on my tailbone, and trust me when I say this, my injury could have been 20 times worse. That extra padding protected me a great deal. So I highly recommend you purchase collision shorts to wear. You can find those on Amazon or any sporting goods store. Alright, so we've talked about our head, we've talked about our torso area. Let's talk about 3, 4, and 5, which are normally sold in a set. I'm talking about your knee pads, I'm talking about elbow pads, and wrist guards. Specifically wrist guards, let's start with that. Anytime you're in the terrain park or even on a run and you try to hit a jump, you're coming off of a feature and you're starting to fall, your first reaction is putting your hands down and trying to break your fall. You can also break your wrist if you're coming from the wrong angle or coming from a very large height. So I highly recommend wearing wrist guards specifically for that. I have a friend who's out 6 weeks because they happened to fall on their wrist and break their wrist because they tried to break that fall. Let's not do that. Let's keep yourself safe, especially those new beginners, especially those young ones with those growing bones. Make sure you protect that big time. Also, knee pads and elbow pads. I've had the pleasure of falling on a feature, falling off of a feature, and landing on both. And having those knee pads and elbow pads saved me a great deal of pain and also saved me from a pretty serious injury as well. Kept my season going. So I highly recommending those. If you have a pair of skateboard elbow pads and knee pads, wrist guards, it's the same thing. Wear those underneath your gear and they're going to protect you to the fullest. Also, another insider tip in regards to wearing knee pads, I find it super convenient that if I'm on a run for an extended period of time and I need to take a quick break, or maybe I outran some of my friends and I want to wait for them, I can just slow down and stop and drop down to my knees and there's no pain at the end of the day or nothing. I can do it hundreds of times over. I can take a break, enjoy the scenery, get some fresh air. So knee pads also serve that purpose and function as well. And the last piece of safety gear I'd like to talk about is a chest and spine protector that you can buy either in a vest form or in a t-shirt form. You can get this at your local sporting goods store. You can purchase it on Amazon, and it's going to average anywhere between $60 to $100, give or take, depending on which brand you purchase. Me specifically, I had the pleasure of falling off of a feature and also falling off of a roller when I was trying to do a jump and landing directly on my chest. I ended up bruising the inside of my rib cage here, and lo and behold, every time I sneezed, there was nothing but pain. So this inspired me to buy this type of protection for my chest and my spinal cord. I also have been lucky to not fall anywhere off of a feature where I hit my back, but now that I have that protection, I won't worry as much. Now at the same time, I don't do things on a mountain where I know it could possibly cause me or someone else serious injury, or I don't ride any more reckless because I'm wearing this gear because I feel like I'm protected or invincible. But it does at the same time allow me to kind of push the envelope a little bit more so that way I can continue to test myself and get better at my craft. So when you wear this safety gear, at least it gives you a little peace of mind that you can go to the next level or try to push yourself to a different limit so that way you can get better as a snowboarder and a skier. And that's it, guys. 6 pieces of gear that I highly recommend you buy for safety, whether you're a beginner or someone going over to the terrain park or just to feel a little bit safer while you're on the mountain. Let's do a quick recap if you don't mind. We're going to talk about your helmet. We're going to talk about your collision shorts. We're going to talk about your knee pads, your elbow pads, and your wrist guards. And last but not least, we're going to talk about that chest and spine protector. Once again, you don't have to spend an arm and a leg on any of these items. You can find them either used, you can find them at a discounted price on sale on different websites. So shop smart, so that way you don't have to worry about breaking the piggy bank while you're actually trying to stay safe on the mountain. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, I'm not an expert in any way, shape, or form. I'm just an average guy giving you my opinion on how to stay safe while you're snowboarding, and I hope it helps you out in the long run. It keeps you more on the mountain and less on the sidelines. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit those buttons just below here and continue to support the Shredship. If you want to share it on any social media websites, I wouldn't judge you for that. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, guys.